When you think about being happy, often you think about things you want. But the way spirituality works is actually kind of the opposite. It's not so much about what you want, but what you need. Like the Rolling Stones song, I guess. To get what you want out of life, you really have to get what you need. And to get what you need, you have to head towards what you don't want. Wait a second, that is totally confusing. The reason why is think of it like a teeter-totter when you're a kid. And in order to play, you have to have the balance. So if you're too far this way, you're stuck. Nothing happens. You can't go anywhere. You have to go more this direction in order to find the balance and the back and forth. The same is true for the south node and the north node. In your chart, you're going to find that the south node and north node are always 180 degrees apart. That means they're opposite signs. So it would be like a Pisces Virgo, it would be like a Taurus Scorpio. You get the picture. See, what we don't even realize, probably until we're at least in our 30s, hopefully, and not living in our parents' basement, is that we all have different realities that we live in. What we think is the only way is actually just one of many ways. But we don't realize it because we are stuck in our ways. One of my friends is a psychologist, and her most two hated words in the English vocabulary are comfort zone. That is exactly what a south node in your chart is. It's your comfort zone. When you're young, you don't even realize it. Maybe your parents and family even encourage you. They say, "Wow, you're so good at that. That's amazing. Congratulations." Not realizing that what you're actually good at is your own downfall. It is going to be this brick that is chained to your ankle that you're going to be dragging around with you. And until you just let it go, you're going to find that things just don't work out right. You might accomplish what you're after, but for some reason, it just never feels good. You never feel accomplished. And the reason why is because for multiple lifetimes, over and over and over, you've been doing the same thing. You have been living in a comfort zone. The more and more you stay in that comfort zone, the darker it gets. So, get out now. Get out as soon as you can. If you're 21 years old and watching this, congratulations, I wish I were you. But some people never realize it. And that's why you'll find that if there's a person that's happy, they have realized their north node and they're starting to head towards it. If there's a person who's miserable and they're 70 years old, it's because they're still stuck in their south node. Ew. So you know the astrology globe. It's a picture of a globe and that has this arrow through it. Well, that globe is called an astrolabe. The arrow is pointing towards the north node and the south node is the direction you want to go away from. Okay. It's also referred to as the dragon's head and dragon's tail. The dragon's head, of course, is where you want to head. The dragon's tail, not where you want to go. Does this mean you have to abandon all of these things you're good at? I mean, you work lifetimes to achieve all this stuff. Do you really just have to let go everything you've learned? No, of course not. But it's best if you use those things to mentor other people. Teach other people what you know and let them be the star of that show for this life. Because you have a whole different role to play. And life isn't about doing what you're good at. Life is about figuring out what you're not good at. The north node and south node are also referred to as karma and dharma. So here you have the north node. Hello. North node is dharma. And over here you have the south node, your past. This is karma. When people say karma is going to catch up to you, that's what we're talking about here. It's to say that everything that you've done in a past life is catching up to you now. Yeah, some is good. Yeah, some is bad. But everything that has been rehashed over and over and over too many times, it's becoming a broken record. That's your south node. All right, so now, like a magical page, I'm going to snap my fingers and we're going to go into your magical north node and south node. Here we go. Aries south node, Libra north node. So as a child, you were probably pretty brash and difficult to control, and you were getting into everything, kind of more on the aggressive side, kind of physical with your siblings, if you had siblings, rambunctious, like you knew what you wanted to do, you would just do it. Your parents would be chasing you all over the house trying to control you. In a past life, you were probably something like a soldier or a pioneer or a warrior, possibly something in sports, an athlete. You had to use your physical strength and your action to just act instantly. Don't think, just do. Your life depended on it. And often with a south node in Aries, you get this sense like Basic survival is in question. Kind of sleeping with like one eye open kind of thing. South Node Aries can become kind of workaholics, and they don't realize it because they think that that's just life. They think there's no joy so much as it's just like survival mode. There's no time to sit and ponder about your feelings or someone else's feelings, other ways of approaching a situation or thinking about a decision. You just gotta go because there's a hunter after you, another warring tribe, and they're catching up to you. So you better run. But that's all in the past. You're living in peace and you don't even realize it because inside your head, you're not at peace. This life is about individuality versus relationship. You always think first about yourself. I mean, a warrior has to think about themselves. That's survival mode. So you're very self-centered. Your North Node, which is the path you want to head towards, is focused on other. For you to even understand that there's other ways of thinking is like mind blown. Life is not black and white. That's why I'm wearing the sweater. It's gray. There's a lot of different options for every choice. Also, everyone lives a different lifestyle, and that's cool. There's not just one way to do things. Try to put yourself in other people's shoes. Try to intellectualize before you act. Try to think through, well, if I just hold off and don't get rash and don't have a temper and just breathe and think about it, maybe I don't even need to do something. Maybe the situation's just going to work itself out naturally. Your instinct is to just go, to be like this firecracker that's just going. But what you really need is to learn how to work as a part of a team. Because being the firecracker just doesn't work for you anymore. It makes you madder and sadder and badder. I guess everything that rhymes with that. Remember, there's no easy, fast solutions. Just use patience because a Libra is very patient. Try to embrace all of these Libra-like qualities. Think about art and romance and beauty and things that don't really factor into just that basic survival mode. It's something higher than that. It's something more refined. You're always going to get further with diplomacy, talking things through, respecting everyone's opinion, than you are by just blowing up and moving the direction you want to move without even looking to see how everyone feels about it. Life is not about right and wrong. It's about understanding. You don't always have to just go in and fix a situation. Sometimes you just have to be the voice of reason. Or maybe you just need to be the shoulder to cry on. You can move mountains by just being silent and listening. You're going to feel so much inner fulfillment and peace by building relationships with people, caring about other people, and being there for them, being sensitive to their emotions. You're really not used to thinking and worrying about what feelings are, trying to make time for art or hobbies or putting your life in balance. When you start that direction, it's going to feel really weird. And you might have to do that whole thing with the temper where you like count, breathe deep and count, because you're going to want to ignite like that engine that just like ignites right away. You're going to have to hold off and like, okay, whoa, like settle down. And I think that's the hardest thing about being an Aries South Node is that moment where you just want to like, and you have to stop yourself, hold in your reins. You're like a wild beast that just wants to break out, like a Wolverine. South Node Aries have so much physical strength and physical courage. They're willing to get in there and brawl. But what they really need to learn is self-sacrifice. To get where you want to get to, which is to feel inner peace and love, you can't be putting yourself first. And just because you win, like winning, you're not going to win. It's just not going to happen. So if I haven't convinced you of why to go towards your North Node yet, because I know you guys are very stubborn, then think about this. A lot of people ask about love in regards to astrology. And actually, South Node and North Node have so much to do with this because you can never really be open-minded to your soulmate if you are still in your South Node. Why is that? Well, because you know how they say, in order to love someone else, you have to love yourself? This is the whole problem with being stuck in your South Node, is that you're tormented, you're just going to add that onto somebody else's life. And the right person for you isn't going to know where you are, who you are, or whatever, until you start to become who you're supposed to be. That makes sense, right? It's like putting out the signal for your soulmate. In addition to your own inner happiness and well-being, you're actually going to feel healthier and more balanced. Not to mention, life is going to be exciting all of a sudden. Like, whoa, new horizons. I had no idea. This is crazy. Like, you're gonna feel like you're firing on all cylinders. Instead of going left, you're gonna make that decision for the first time in lifetimes to just like divert and go right. And that's very exciting. I think it is. Some examples of South Node Aries, North Node Libra: Simon Cowell, Madonna, Al Pacino, Bruce Lee, Tina Turner, Shakira, just like fiery people. So remember, don't worry about that that's gonna go away if you start considering everyone's feelings, because it's never gonna go away. It's within you so strongly that it never will leave you, no matter what. But by heading towards your North Node, you're gonna find a whole new way to approach life that is gonna be so much more exciting. All right, guys, thanks for being here, and come back for the next North Node, South Node, which is going to be North Node Scorpio, South Node Taurus, and subscribe.